You're inside me, and you're gay. Priscilla's voice shook as her Mafia husband pinned her against the bedroom wall on their wedding night. Everyone warned her, Kang Kang doesn't touch women, doesn't want women. The marriage is just for show. But his hands burned against her skin like fire. His mouth claimed hers with 3 years of starvation, and the hardness pressed against her thigh told a very different story. The rumours, he growled in her ear, his fingers already unzipping her dress. I made sure everyone believed them, so no one would look for a weakness. But you, Priscilla, you are my weakness now. Then he showed her exactly how wrong the rumours were, and by morning, she realised she hadn't married a man who couldn't want her. She'd married a predator who'd been waiting for prey worth breaking his cover for. The mansion doors opened, and Priscilla's breath caught in her throat. She had never seen anything like this. Gold chandeliers hung from ceilings so high they seemed to touch the sky. White marble floors stretched endlessly in every direction, so shiny she could see her reflection staring back at her. The reflection showed a terrified girl in a simple yellow dress, clutching a worn suitcase, like it was the only friend she had left. This way, Miss Asante. The man who spoke wore a perfectly pressed black suit. His name was Rocco, and he had picked her up from the airport 3 hours ago. He had not smiled once, not when she tried to thank him, not when she asked nervous questions about Mr. Kang, not even when she accidentally dropped her suitcase and her clothes spilled everywhere on the sidewalk. Now he walked ahead of her through hallways that seemed to go on forever. Priscilla's sandals made small slapping sounds against the marble. The sound felt too loud in the silent house. Mr. Kang is waiting in his office, Rocco said without turning around. He is a very busy man. Do not waste his time. Priscilla's stomach twisted. She touched the small cross necklace her grandmother had given her before she left Ghana. Her fingers were shaking. She thought about her mother lying in that hospital bed back home. The doctors said she needed an operation that cost more money than Priscilla's family would make in 10 years. When the offer came through a distant cousin who knew people, her father had cried. They had no choice. Marry this rich man in America. He would pay for everything. All Priscilla had to do was sign some papers and be his wife. It sounded simple. Too simple. Rocco stopped in front of 2 massive wooden doors. He knocked twice, then pushed them open. Miss Asante is here, sir. Bring her in. The voice was deep and cold, like water from a dark well. Priscilla's heart hammered against her ribs as Rocco stepped aside and gestured for her to enter. She walked into the office and forgot how to breathe. The room was huge, but somehow felt small because of how dark it was. Heavy curtains blocked most of the sunlight. A single lamp glowed on a desk the size of her family's entire kitchen table. Behind that desk sat a man who looked like he had been carved from stone. Kang Kang. He was younger than she expected, maybe 30, maybe less. His black hair was styled back perfectly. His suit probably cost more than her entire village made in a month, but it was his face that made Priscilla's feet freeze to the floor. He was beautiful in a dangerous way, sharp jaw, high cheekbones, lips pressed into a hard line, and his eyes, those dark eyes that looked at her like she was a piece of furniture. He was deciding whether to keep or throw away. Sit, he said, not asking, commanding. Priscilla sat in the leather chair across from him. It was so big she felt like a child. Kang Min did not look up from the papers he was reading. He signed something with a gold pen, then pushed the papers aside. Finally, those cold eyes lifted to meet hers. Priscilla felt like she was falling. You are smaller than I expected, he said. His voice had no emotion in it at all. How old are you? 22, sir. Do not call me sir. Call me Kang Min. He leaned back in his chair, studying her. Do you know why you are here? Yes. I think so. To marry you. To marry me, he repeated, and something flickered in his expression. Amusement, maybe, or annoyance. Priscilla could not tell. Do you know what I do? She had heard the whispers. Everyone back home had whispered when they thought she could not hear. Mafia, gangster, killer. A man who hurt people for money. A man who made other men disappear. But she also heard something else. Something the women whispered even more quietly, with strange looks on their faces. He does not like women. He only likes men. That is why he needs a pretend wife. You are a businessman, Priscilla said carefully. Kangmin's lips curved into something that was almost a smile, but colder. A businessman, sure. He opened a drawer and pulled out a thick stack of papers. This is the contract. You will sign it. He slid the papers across the desk. Priscilla picked them up with trembling hands. The words swam before her eyes, legal terms she did not understand, numbers that made her dizzy. What does it say? She asked. It says you belong to me now. Kangmin's voice was flat. You will live in this house. You will attend events with me when I require it. You will smile and play the role of my loving wife in public. In private, you will stay out of my way. Priscilla's throat felt tight. For how long? 5 years. Then you are free to go. Your family will be paid monthly during that time. Your mother's medical bills are already handled. 5 years. 5 years of living in a golden prison with a man who looked at her like she did not exist, but her mother would live. Where is the pen? Priscilla asked quietly. For the first time, something changed in Kangmin's expression. His eyes narrowed slightly, like he was trying to figure out a puzzle. He handed her the gold pen. Priscilla signed every page where he pointed. Her hand shook so badly the signatures looked like a child's handwriting. When she finished, Kangmin took the papers back and locked them in his drawer. Rocco will show you to your room, he said, already looking back at his computer. Stay there until someone comes for you. When is the wedding? The question tumbled out before Priscilla could stop it. Kangmin's fingers paused on his keyboard. He looked at her again, and this time his gaze dragged slowly from her face, down to her feet and back up. It made her skin feel hot and cold at the same time. Friday, he said. 3 days. Do not be late. He turned away, dismissing her completely. Priscilla stood on shaky legs. She had almost reached the door when his voice stopped her. Priscilla! She turned back. It was the first time he had said her name. Kangmin was watching her with an expression she could not read. The rumours you have heard about me, whatever they are, forget them. Reality is always different from gossip. Before she could ask what he meant, he looked away again. Rocco appeared at her elbow and guided her out. The doors closed behind them with a heavy thud that sounded like a prison cell locking. Come, Rocco said. I will explain the rules. He led her up a massive staircase to the second floor. The hallway seemed to stretch for miles. He stopped at a door and opened it. The bedroom inside was bigger than Priscilla's entire house in Ghana. A massive bed with silk sheets. A closet that could fit 50 people. Windows that showed a view of the city lights beginning to glow as evening fell. This is your room, Rocco said. Mr. Kang's room is at the other end of the hall. You will not go there unless invited. You will not enter his office unless summoned. You will not ask questions about his business. You will not leave the property without permission and an escort. Is that clear? Priscilla nodded, unable to speak. Rocco's expression softened just slightly. The maids will bring you dinner. They will help you prepare for the wedding. If you need anything, press the button by the bed. Someone will come. He left her alone. Priscilla walked to the window and pressed her forehead against the cool glass. Somewhere far below, car lights moved through the dark streets. Somewhere even farther, across an ocean, her mother was probably sleeping in that hospital bed. A tear slid down Priscilla's cheek. She was trapped in heaven that felt like hell. married to a stranger who looked at her like she was invisible, and she had 3 days before her life changed forever. The wedding took 45 minutes. Priscilla stood in a white dress that cost more than her father would earn in his entire life. The fabric felt like clouds against her skin. The veil covered her face like a ghost's shroud, and across from her, holding her hands with a grip that was firm but somehow still distant, stood Kangmin Kang. Wore a black tuxedo that made him look like a prince from a dark fairy tale. His hair was perfect, his face was expressionless, and his eyes never quite met hers. The officiant spoke words Priscilla barely heard. Her heart pounded so loudly it drowned out everything else. When Kang Min slid a ring onto her finger, his touch was brief and cold. "You may kiss the bride." Kang Min lifted her veil. For one moment, his dark eyes locked with hers, and Priscilla saw something flicker in their depths, something that made her stomach flip. Then he leaned in and pressed a quick, cold kiss to her lips. It lasted less than a second. The small audience of Kang Min's business associates clapped politely. Rocco stood in the front row with the same blank expression he always wore. No one from Priscilla's family was there. They could not afford the plane tickets. The reception happened in a different part of the mansion. People drank expensive champagne and ate tiny foods that probably cost a fortune. They congratulated Kang Min. They smiled at Priscilla, but their smiles never reached their eyes. She was the outsider. The strange girl from Africa, who somehow landed the most dangerous man in California. Kang Min stayed by her side the whole time, his hand resting on the small of her back. To everyone watching, they looked like the perfect couple, but he did not speak to her. Not once. He just stood there like a statue while people talked at him. When the last guest finally left, Kang Min's hand dropped away from her back. "Go to your room," he said quietly. "Someone will come get you." Then he walked away. Priscilla stood alone in the empty ballroom, surrounded by half-empty champagne glasses and wilting flowers. The maids were already starting to clean up. They moved around her like she was invisible. She went to her room. The maids had laid out a white silk nightgown on her bed. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The fabric was so thin she could see through it. Priscilla's hands shook as she changed. She kept thinking about the rumours. He does not like women. You will be safe. He only married you for appearances. She should feel relieved. Instead, she felt something else, something confusing that sat heavy in her chest. She sat on the edge of the bed and waited. The clock on the wall ticked. 9 o'clock became 10. 10 became 11. Maybe he would not come at all. Maybe she would spend her wedding night alone, just like she would spend the next 5 years. Alone in this beautiful prison. At midnight, the door opened. Priscilla jumped to her feet. Her heart leaped into her throat. Kang Min stood in the doorway. He had removed his tuxedo jacket and tie. His white shirt was unbuttoned at the collar. His hair was slightly messy, like he had run his fingers through it. He stepped inside and closed the door behind him. The soft click of the lock sounded impossibly loud. "Sit," he said. Priscilla sat back down on the bed. Her hands twisted in the mere silk nightgown. Kang Min walked closer. Each step was slow and deliberate. He stopped right in front of her, so close she had to tilt her head back to see his face. "You have been very quiet today," he said. His voice was still cold, but something underneath it made her shiver. "Scared?" "A little," Priscilla whispered. "Of me?" "Yes." "Good." He reached out and touched her cheek with one finger. The touch burned. Fear keeps people smart. "But let me tell you something, Priscilla. All those rumours you heard about me not liking women." His finger traced down her jaw to her chin. His dark eyes burned into hers. Complete lies. Priscilla's breath caught. "But everyone said—" "I know what everyone said. I made sure they said it. His lips curved into a smile that was not kind. It was hungry. Do you know why? She shook her head, unable to speak. Because men leave alone what they think I do not want, and I wanted to be left alone. No women throwing themselves at me for money, no fathers trying to sell me their daughters, no complications. His thumb brushed across her bottom lip, until I needed a wife, a real wife, one who would be too scared and grateful to cause problems. I don't understand, Priscilla breathed. You will. Then he kissed her. This kiss was nothing like the cold peck at the wedding. This kiss was fire. His mouth claimed hers with a hunger that made her head spin. His hands gripped her face, holding her exactly where he wanted her. Priscilla gasped against his lips, and he took advantage, deepening the kiss until she could not think, could not breathe, could only feel. When he finally pulled back, Priscilla was shaking. Her lips felt swollen, her whole body felt like it was burning. Still scared? Kangmin asked. His voice was rough now, not cold at all. I don't know, Priscilla whispered honestly. You should be. He leaned in close, his lips brushing her ear. Because I am not the man everyone thinks I am. And tonight, you are going to learn exactly who I really am. His hands moved to her shoulders, gentle but firm. He pushed her back onto the bed, following her down. The mattress was soft beneath her. His body was hard above her. Wait, Priscilla said, her voice shaking. I thought you didn't... everyone said... I know what they said. Kangmin's eyes blazed as he looked down at her. Did you really think I would marry you and not touch you? Did you think I would have a beautiful woman in my house and just ignore her? Yes, Priscilla admitted. Something in his expression shifted. For just a moment, he looked almost human, almost gentle. I am not a good man, Priscilla. I have done terrible things. I will do more terrible things. But I am not a liar. His hand cupped her face. I want you. I have wanted you since you walked into my office 3 days ago, looking like a terrified little bird. And tonight, you are mine. Then his mouth was on hers again, and Priscilla's world tilted sideways. The kiss turned into more kisses. His hands moved across her skin, learning every inch of her. The silk nightgown disappeared. The lights went out, and in the darkness, Kangmin Kang showed her that every rumour, every whisper, every warning had been spectacularly wrong. He was not cold. He was fire. He was not distant. He was everywhere, surrounding her, consuming her, and he definitely liked women. Specifically, he liked her. The night stretched on forever, and also passed in seconds. Priscilla's mind spun with sensations she had never imagined. Her body responded to touches she did not know were possible. Every time she thought it was over, it began again. Kangmin was demanding, intense, almost overwhelming, but his hands were careful even when they were rough. And somehow, impossibly, he made sure she felt everything he was feeling. When dawn finally painted the windows pink and gold, Priscilla lay tangled in silk sheets that no longer looked perfect. Her body ached in ways she had never experienced. Her mind was a confused mess. Kangmin sat on the edge of the bed, already dressed in fresh clothes. He looked perfect again, untouchable, like the whole night had not happened. Stay in bed today, he said without looking at her. You need rest. Then he stood and walked to the door. Kangmin, Priscilla called out. Her voice was hoarse. He paused, but did not turn around. I don't understand anything, she whispered. For a long moment, he was silent. Then he spoke, his voice back to the cold tone from before. You do not need to understand. You just need to obey. 5 years, Priscilla. You signed the contract. The door closed behind him, leaving her alone. Priscilla pulled the sheets up to her chin and stared at the ceiling. Her body still hummed from his touch, Her lips still felt swollen from his kisses, and her mind could not make sense of any of it. Who was Kang Min Kang really? The cold man who barely looked at her, or the burning man who made her feel like she was drowning in fire, and which one scared her more? Priscilla woke to sunlight burning through her eyelids and pain radiating through her entire body. She shifted in the bed and immediately regretted it. Every muscle ached. Her thighs felt like someone had put them through a battle. Her lips were swollen. Even her hair hurt somehow. Memories from the night before crashed over her in waves. Kang Min's hands, his mouth, his body, the things he whispered against her skin in a language she did not understand, but that somehow sounded beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Her face burned hot. She pressed her palms against her cheeks and tried to steady her breathing. What happened last night was supposed to be impossible. Everyone said he did not want women. Everyone said this marriage would be pretend, cold, safe. Everyone was wrong. A soft knock made her jump. The door opened before she could answer, and a maid entered, carrying a silver tray. "Good morning, Mrs. Kang," the woman said. She was older, maybe 50, with kind eyes that carefully avoided looking at Priscilla too directly. "Mr. Kang requested breakfast be brought to your room. He said you would not be joining him this morning." The words hit Priscilla like cold water. He requested. He said. Like she was some kind of package he was giving instructions about. "Where is he?" Priscilla asked. Her voice came out scratchy and raw. "In the dining room, ma'am. Shall I tell him you would like to see him?" Pride made Priscilla shake her head. "No, thank you." The maid set the tray on the bedside table and quietly left. Priscilla stared at the food. Fancy eggs, perfect toast, fresh fruit that probably cost more than her family's weekly groceries. Her stomach turned. She could not eat any of it. After forcing herself to shower, moving slowly because everything hurt, Priscilla dressed in a simple blue dress. She braided her hair, looked at herself in the mirror. She looked the same as yesterday, but everything felt different. Taking a deep breath, she left her room. The mansion felt like a maze. Hallways branched off in every direction. Stairs led to places she had never explored. But she followed the smell of coffee until she found the dining room. Kang Min sat at the head of a long table that could fit 20 people. He wore a grey suit that probably cost a fortune. His hair was perfectly styled. He looked like he had slept 12 hours instead of barely any. He glanced up when she entered, and for one heartbeat, something flickered in his eyes. Then it vanished behind ice. "You should still be resting," he said, looking back at the newspaper in his hands. Priscilla stood in the doorway, suddenly unsure. "I wanted to see you." "Well, you have seen me. Go back to bed." The coldness in his voice made her chest tight. This was the same man who had held her face in his hands last night. The same man who had kissed every inch of her skin. The same man who had whispered words against her neck that made her feel like she was the only person in the world. Now he would not even look at her properly. Did I do something wrong? The question came out smaller than she intended. Kang Min's jaw tightened. He folded the newspaper with sharp, precise movements and finally met her eyes. "No, you did what was expected." Expected. Like she was a job he had completed. "I do not understand," Priscilla said. "Last night you were so different. You said things and did things, and now you act like I am a stranger. Last night was last night. Today is business as usual." He stood, straightening his suit jacket. "I am leaving for Las Vegas in 2 hours. Business trip. I will be gone for 3 days. Can I come with you?" "No." "But I am your wife." "You are my wife on paper. That is all you need to be." He walked toward the door, toward her, and she thought maybe he would touch her. maybe he would show some softness. But he just moved past her like she was furniture. Rocco will make sure you have everything you need. Do not leave the property. Then he was gone. Priscilla stood alone in the massive dining room, surrounded by expensive things that meant nothing, and felt tears burn her eyes. She refused to let them fall. The next 3 days crawled by like wounded animals. Priscilla explored the mansion. Because there was nothing else to do, she found room after room filled with beautiful, empty things. A library, with books that looked like no one ever read them, a gym that could fit an entire soccer team, a pool that sparkled in the California sun, but felt too lonely to swim in. The maids were polite, but distant. They brought her meals. They cleaned her room. But when she tried to talk to them, really talk, they gave short answers and hurried away, except for one. Her name was Sophia. She was young, maybe only a few years older than Priscilla, with dark hair and nervous hands. On the second day, Sophia was changing the sheets in Priscilla's room when Priscilla finally asked the question burning inside her. "Does Mr. Kang bring many women here?" Sophia's hands froze on the pillowcase. "No, ma'am. You are the first." "The first woman ever?" "The first woman he has brought to this house as more than business." Sophia's voice dropped to a whisper. "The others, they talk. They say Mr. Kang never shows interest in women. Some say he had a partner once, a man named Vaughn." Priscilla's stomach dropped. What happened to Vaughn? Sophia looked toward the door like she was afraid someone might be listening. He betrayed the family, stole money, made deals with enemies. Mr. Kang found out and... She made a cutting motion across her throat. He killed him. That is what people say. I do not know if it is true, but after that, Mr. Kang became colder, harder, and he never let anyone close again, until you. The words should have made Priscilla feel special. Instead, they made her feel more confused. "Why me?" she whispered. Sophia just shook her head. "Only Mr. Kang knows that, ma'am." That night, alone in her massive bed, Priscilla could not sleep. She kept thinking about Kang Min's hands on her skin, the way he had looked at her in the darkness, like she was something precious and breakable. The Korean words he had whispered that sounded almost like poetry. What did they mean? What did any of it mean? Her body still remembered every touch, still ached for something she should not want. How could she miss someone who treated her like she did not exist? Maybe she was going crazy. The door to her room opened suddenly, making her jump, but it was just another maid, bringing fresh towels. Not Kang Min returning early. Why would he? He made it clear she meant nothing. On the third morning, Priscilla woke to voices in the hallway. She pressed her ear to the door and heard Rocco talking to someone. "Mr. Kang will arrive this afternoon. Make sure everything is perfect and tell the kitchen to prepare for 2. He is bringing a guest." A guest? Priscilla's heart sank. Maybe it was business. Maybe it was nothing. But when afternoon came and she heard car doors slamming outside, curiosity pulled her to the window. Kang Min stepped out of a black car. He looked perfect as always, but he was not alone. A woman emerged from the passenger side. She was tall, elegant, with blonde hair that fell in perfect waves. Her dress probably cost more than the car, and when Kang Min said something to her, she laughed and touched his arm. The touch lingered. Priscilla's hands formed fists against the window glass. She told herself it did not matter, told herself she did not care, told herself this was exactly what she expected from a marriage that was supposed to be fake, but her heart screamed that it did matter, that she did care, that something had changed during that one burning night, even if only for her. She heard them enter the house, heard Kang Min's deep voice saying something that made the woman laugh again, heard footsteps moving toward the main staircase. Priscilla's door was still closed. He had not even come to tell her he was home. She spent the rest of the day in her room, pacing like a trapped animal. The maids brought dinner on a tray again, like she was a prisoner being fed through a slot. As the sun set and darkness filled her room, Priscilla finally allowed herself to cry. She cried for her mother, lying in that hospital bed across the ocean. She cried for her family, who had no idea what they had sold her into. She cried for herself, for being stupid enough to think one night could change anything. But most of all, she cried because her body still remembered, still wanted, still ached for a man who looked at her like she was nothing in the daylight. A soft knock interrupted her tears. Priscilla wiped her face quickly. "Come in." Sophia entered, carrying yet another tray. But this time, her expression was different, sympathetic, sad. "The guest is Miss Bridget Monroe," Sophia said quietly, setting down the tray. "Mr. Kang introduced her as his business associate. They are having dinner downstairs." "Thank you for telling me." "I am sorry, Mum." "For what?" "For whatever is happening. You deserve better." The kindness in Sophia's voice almost made Priscilla cry again. After Sophia left, Priscilla walked to her window and looked down at the pool. Lights glowed beneath the water, turning it into liquid sapphire. She could see shadows moving in the dining room windows below. 2 figures sitting close together, talking, laughing, while she sat alone in the dark, wondering if that one perfect, terrible night had been real at all. The red dress felt like war paint. Priscilla stared at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman looking back. The dress was tight, hugging every curve of her body. The neckline dipped low, the fabric ended high on her thighs. She had found it in the massive closet full of clothes she never asked for, still with the price tag attached. $4,000 for a dress. Insane, but tonight she did not care about the price. She cared about the statement. If Kang Min wanted to parade his business associate Bridget around, then Priscilla could play that game too. The party was in Miami. Some kind of charity event that was really an excuse for rich people to show off. Kang Min had informed her this morning, in his cold, businesslike voice, that her presence was required. "Wear something appropriate," he had said. "We need to look like a real couple." She had wanted to throw something at his perfect face. Instead, she had smiled sweetly and said, "Of course, husband." Now, as she slipped on high heels that made her legs look miles long, she felt a savage satisfaction. Appropriate. This dress was absolutely appropriate for making a point. Rocco knocked on her door exactly at 7. "The car is ready, Mrs. Kang." Priscilla grabbed a small purse and walked out. Rocco's eyes widened slightly when he saw her, just for a second. Then his professional mask slipped back into place. "Mr. Kang is waiting downstairs." "Good. Let him wait." She descended the grand staircase slowly, each step deliberate. Her heels clicked against the marble. The sound echoed through the silent mansion like gunshots. Kang Min stood in the foyer, checking his phone. He wore a black tuxedo that made him look like sin, wrapped in expensive fabric. Bridget stood beside him in a gold dress that probably cost even more than Priscilla's red one. When Kang Min looked up and saw Priscilla, his entire body went rigid. His dark eyes travelled from her face, down to her heels, and back up again, slowly. Like he was memorizing every inch. His jaw clenched so tight she could see the muscle jump. "Is this appropriate enough?" Priscilla asked sweetly. Something dangerous flashed in his eyes. "Get in the car." The drive to the airport was silent. They took Kang Min's private jet to Miami, because apparently that was how Mafia bosses travelled. Bridget chattered the whole flight about boring things like stock markets and real estate. Kang Min listened with polite interest. He did not look at Priscilla once. Fine. Two could play this game. The party was held in a hotel so fancy it made Kang Min's mansion look modest. Crystal chandeliers, marble, everything. Women dripping in diamonds, men in tuxedos that cost more than cars. Priscilla felt out of place immediately. These people belonged in this world. She was just a girl from Ghana pretending to be something she was not. But she held her head high and took Kang Min's offered arm when they entered the ballroom. His hand on her back felt like fire through the thin fabric of her dress. She hated that her body still responded to his touch, hated that she wanted to lean into him instead of away. "Smile," he murmured against her ear. "You are supposed to be my adoring wife. Then perhaps you should try adoring me back," she whispered through gritted teeth. His fingers pressed harder against her spine. Not painful, but possessive. Careful. Then they were surrounded by people. Introductions, fake smiles, business talk that meant nothing to Priscilla. She played her part perfectly, smiling and nodding and pretending everything was wonderful. Bridget stayed close to Kang Min's other side, too close. Her hand kept touching his arm. Her laugh rang out too loud at his rare comments. Priscilla's fingers curled into fists. "Excuse me," she said to no one in particular. "I need some air." She walked away before Kang Min could stop her, headed toward the balcony that overlooked the Miami beach. The night air was warm and smelled like salt and freedom. Beautiful view. Priscilla turned to find a man standing a few feet away. He was handsome in an easy way that Kang Min was not. Lighter skin, warm brown eyes, a smile that actually reached those eyes. "Yes, it is," Priscilla agreed. "I am Junho." He moved closer, extending his hand. "Junho, I do not believe we have met." She shook his hand. "Priscilla Kang." "Ah, the new Mrs. Kang. The whole room has been talking about you." His smile widened. "Can I say, that dress is absolutely stunning. You put every other woman here to shame." Heat rushed to Priscilla's cheeks. When was the last time someone had complimented her, really complimented her, not in that cold, dismissive way Kang Min had of noticing things without caring? "Thank you," she said. "May I ask what a beautiful woman like you is doing out here alone? Should your husband not be by your side, making sure no one steals you away?" "My husband is busy with business." The words came out more bitter than she intended. Junho's expression shifted, understanding. "Ah, I know Kang Min Kang. He is always about business. A shame, really. If you were my wife, I would never let you out of my sight." Something about the way he said it made warning bells ring in Priscilla's head, but she was tired, hurt, angry, and Junho's attention felt like water in a desert. "Would you like to dance?" he asked, offering his hand. Priscilla glanced back through the glass doors. She could see Kang Min in the crowd, Bridget still attached to his side. He was not even looking for her. "I would love to," she said. Junho led her back inside to the dance floor. The music was slow, romantic. His hand settled on her waist, not too low, respectful, but firm. They swayed to the music, and Junho talked about easy things. The weather, the party, how beautiful Miami was this time of year. He made her laugh, actually laugh. For a few minutes, Priscilla forgot about Kang Min, forgot about the cold mansion, forgot about being trapped in a marriage that felt like a prison. Then ice filled the air. "Mind if I cut in?" Kang Min's voice was soft, deadly soft. Junho's hand tightened slightly on Priscilla's waist. "Actually, we were just getting to know each other." That was not a request. Priscilla turned her head and nearly gasped. Kangmin's face was a mask of controlled fury. His dark eyes burned into Junho like he wanted to set him on fire. "Kangmin," she started. "Go back to your own territory, Junho," Kangmin said, ignoring her completely. "Detroit is that way," he pointed. "I was invited to this party, same as you." Junho's smile was sharp now. "And your wife seemed happy for the company." Kangmin's hand shot out and gripped Priscilla's waist, yanking her away from Junho and against his own body. The movement was so fast she stumbled. His arm locked around her like an iron bar. "Touch my wife again," Kangmin said, his voice dropping to a whisper that somehow felt louder than a shout. "And you will lose your hands, then your arms, then anything else I decide I do not like. Understand?" Junho held up his hands in mock surrender. No disrespect intended, just appreciating what you seem to be neglecting. He winked at Priscilla. "If you ever get tired of the cold shoulder, Mrs. Kang, you know where to find me." Then he walked away, disappearing into the crowd. Kangmin's arm stayed locked around Priscilla. She could feel him trembling, not from fear, from rage. "We are leaving," he said. "The party just started." "I said we are leaving." He practically dragged her through the ballroom. People stared, whispered. Priscilla's face burned with humiliation, but Kangmin did not care. He pulled her through the hotel, into the elevator, and up to the penthouse suite. The door slammed behind them. "What were you thinking?" Kangmin's voice was rough, raw. "I was thinking that I was tired of standing around like decoration while you and Bridget played your game." Priscilla shot back. "Bridget is business. So am I, remember? Just a contract, just a fake wife." She threw her purse onto the couch. "Why should you care if I dance with someone else?" Kangmin crossed the room in 3 strides. His hands grabbed her arms, not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to make her gasp. "You are mine," he said. Each word was sharp, clear. "You signed papers. You took my ring. You share my bed. That makes you mine." "You have not touched me since that first night," Priscilla said, hating how her voice shook. "You ignore me. You bring other women home. You treat me like I do not exist. Because if I touch you again, I will not be able to stop." His grip tightened. "Do you understand? If I let myself want you, I will consume you. I will own every piece of you, and I am trying to give you space and trying to let you have something that is yours. I do not want space. I want—" "What? What do you want, Priscilla?" The truth exploded out of her. "I want you to stop being cold. I want you to look at me the way you did that night. I want to understand what is happening because I am going crazy." Kangmin's eyes blazed. "You want me to look at you? Fine!" Then his mouth crashed onto hers. This kiss was nothing like before. This was possession, claiming. His hands tangled in her hair, tilting her head back. His body pressed her against the wall. Priscilla kissed him back just as fiercely. All her anger, all her confusion, all her hurt poured into that kiss. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Kangmin's eyes had gone completely dark. "That dress," he said, his voice rough. "You wore it to drive me crazy." "Yes, it worked." His hands found the zipper, but now it comes off. The red dress pooled on the floor, and suddenly they were not fighting anymore. They were tearing at each other like drowning people desperate for air. Kangmin was not gentle. His hands mapped her body with bruising intensity. His mouth found her neck, her shoulder, her collarbone, and every place his lips touched. He whispered in Korean, words she still did not understand, but that sounded like prayers. "Mine," he said in English, his teeth grazing her shoulder. "Say it. Yours," Priscilla gasped. "Again. Yours. I am yours." The night blurred into sensation. He was demanding, possessive, almost rough, But his hands still found every place that made her gasp, still made sure she felt everything. And when morning finally came, painting the Miami sky pink and gold, Priscilla lay tangled in expensive sheets, covered in marks his mouth had left on her skin. Kang-min sat on the edge of the bed, already pulling on his clothes. Here it comes, Priscilla thought, the cold distance again. But this time, he turned to look at her, really look at her. I am not good at this, he said quietly. The husband thing, the caring thing. I have spent 10 years building walls, and you are making them crack. Is that bad? Priscilla whispered. I do not know yet. He reached out and touched her face, gentle this time. But I do know one thing. You are mine, Priscilla, and I do not share. Then he left. Priscilla lay in bed staring at the ceiling, her body aching and her heart confused. One night he was ice, the next he was fire. How was she supposed to survive this? And the scariest part? She was starting to not want to survive it. She was starting to want to burn. Priscilla cornered Kang-min in his office 3 days after Miami. She had spent those 3 days thinking, pacing, and trying to make sense of a man who switched between ice and fire like he was 2 different people. The marks on her skin from Miami had faded to soft shadows, but the confusion in her heart had only grown stronger. Enough was enough. She pushed open the heavy office doors without knocking. Kang-min looked up from his computer, surprise flickering across his face before his mask slid back into place. I did not send for you, he said. I do not care. Priscilla closed the doors behind her and locked them. The click echoed through the dark room. We need to talk. I am working. Then stop working. She walked across the room and stood directly in front of his desk, hands on her hips. You are going to sit there and answer my questions. All of them. No more games. No more hot and cold. I deserve the truth. Kang-min leaned back in his chair, studying her. Something like approval glinted in his eyes. You are braver than you look. I have to be. I married you. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. Then it vanished. He gestured to the chair across from him. Sit. I would rather stand. Priscilla. His voice held warning. Sit. Please. The please surprised her. She sat. Kang-min was quiet for a long moment, his fingers drumming against the desk. Finally, he spoke. What do you want to know? Everything. Starting with Vaughn. Was he your partner? Were you really together? Kang-min's jaw tightened. Vaughn was my business partner. We ran operations together for 5 years, built this empire from nothing. And yes, I let people think we were together romantically. Why? Because it was useful. Kang-min stood and walked to the window, his back to her. In my world, love is weakness. Family is a target. My enemies look for anything they can use against you. A wife, children, parents, anyone you care about becomes a weapon pointed at your heart. Priscilla's chest tightened. What happened to your parents? They were killed when I was 19. His voice was flat, empty. My father had rivals. Those rivals found out about my mother, about me. They used us to hurt him. My mother died first. They made my father watch. Then they killed him. I was supposed to die too, but I survived. Kang-min. Priscilla stood, wanting to go to him, but something in his posture kept her frozen. After that, I learned, I built walls, made myself untouchable. And when Vaughn suggested we let people think we were involved, it was perfect. No one would look for a wife if they thought I did not want one. No one would target children that did not exist. I was safe. But Vaughn betrayed you. Kang-min's hands formed fists against the window glass. He got greedy. Started making deals with the FBI. Planned to turn me in for immunity. I found out through my own sources. He turned to face her, and his eyes were completely black. So, yes, I killed him. I put 2 bullets in his head and watched him bleed out, and I would do it again. Priscilla should have been terrified, should have run. But instead she felt something else. Understanding, maybe, or recognition of the monster Kang Min had been forced to become. The rumours kept you safe, she said quietly. For 10 years, yes. No enemies tried to target a wife that did not exist. No one looked for weakness in my personal life because everyone thought there was nothing there to find. He moved closer to her, each step deliberate, until I needed a legal wife for business reasons. Certain deals require family legitimacy, appearance of stability, so I arranged the marriage. With me. With you. He stopped right in front of her. But here is the part I did not plan for. The part that has been driving me insane for 3 weeks. What part? You. His hand reached up and touched her face, gentle despite the intensity in his eyes. From the moment I saw your picture, something inside me broke. You looked so innocent, so pure, everything my world is not. And I wanted you, not as a fake wife, not as a contract. I wanted you in my bed, in my life, mine. Priscilla's breath caught. Then why were you so cold? Because I was trying to protect you. His thumb traced her cheekbone. I told myself I would keep distance, make this marriage just business, keep you safe by keeping you at arm's length. But then you walked into my office that first day, looking terrified and brave at the same time, and my control started slipping. The wedding night, I broke completely. Kang Min's voice roughened. I could not stay away anymore. Could not pretend I did not want you. So I took you. And I have been fighting with myself ever since, trying to decide if I should push you away to keep you safe or pull you close and risk everything. What did you decide? Priscilla whispered. That I am a selfish man. His other hand cupped her face, holding her like she was something precious. Because I choose close. I choose keeping you, even if it means painting a target on your back, even if it means my enemies might try to use you against me. I cannot let you go. Tears burned Priscilla's eyes. I am scared. Of me. Of this. Of caring about someone who lives in constant danger. Of falling for you and then losing you. Priscilla. He leaned his forehead against hers. I am scared too. I have not let myself care about anyone since my parents died. It is easier to be alone, safer, but you make me want to be reckless. Is that bad? Probably. His lips brushed hers, soft this time, gentle. But I do not care anymore. The kiss deepened slowly, not the desperate, consuming fire from before. This was different. Tender, like he was trying to tell her things he did not have words for. When they finally pulled apart, Kang Min took her hand and led her not to the desk or the couch, but out of the office, up the stairs, to his bedroom. The room Priscilla had never entered. It was simpler than she expected. No gold or luxury, just clean lines and dark colours. A massive bed, windows that showed the city lights beginning to glow as evening fell. I want to do this right, Kang Min said. Not rough, not desperate. I want you to feel what I feel. He undressed her slowly, like he was unwrapping something sacred. Each piece of clothing that fell away revealed more skin he kissed with patient devotion. No rush, no urgency, just attention. When she stood bare before him, Priscilla reached for his shirt. He let her unbutton it with shaking fingers, let her push it off his shoulders, let her see the scars that covered his chest and back, stories written in violence. These are from that night, he said quietly, when they killed my parents. These are reminders of what happens when you love people. Priscilla traced one long scar across his ribs, or reminders that you survived. Something in his expression cracked. He pulled her to the bed, laying her down on sheets that smelled like him. Then he covered her body with his own, not taking yet, just touching, learning, memorizing. "You are so beautiful," he whispered in Korean, then in English. "So perfect." His hands moved across her skin with reverence. His mouth followed, kissing places that made her gasp and arch beneath him, but he took his time, refusing to rush. When he finally joined their bodies, it was slow, gentle. His eyes never left hers. And with each movement, each breath, Priscilla felt something shift inside her chest. This was not just desire, not just physical need. This was falling. Kang Min must have seen it on her face because his hand found hers, fingers lacing together. "I feel it too," he said roughly. "I am falling too, and it terrifies me." They moved together like they were dancing, like they had done this 1,000 times before. And when release finally crashed over them both, Kang Min buried his face against her neck and whispered words in Korean that sounded like prayers or confessions. Afterward, they lay tangled together, his hand absently stroking her hair. "What were you saying?" Priscilla asked, in Korean. "What does it mean?" Kang Min was quiet for so long she thought he would not answer. Then he spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "I was saying that I am sorry. Sorry for bringing you into this world. Sorry for putting you in danger. And sorry because I am too selfish to let you go, even though letting you go would keep you safer." Priscilla turned in his arms to face him. "What if I do not want to be let go?" "Then you are as crazy as I am," she smiled. "Maybe. But I think I am falling in love with you, Kang Min Kang. Even though you are cold one minute and burning the next. Even though you are dangerous and scary and probably terrible for me." His hand tightened on her waist. "Do not say that unless you mean it." "I mean it." "Priscilla." He closed his eyes like he was in pain. "If you love me, my enemies will try to kill you. Do you understand? They will hunt you, use you, hurt you to hurt me, then keep me safe. I will." His eyes opened, blazing with fierce determination. "I will burn down anyone who tries to touch you. I will turn this world into ash before I let anyone hurt you." "That is very dramatic." "I am a dramatic person." He kissed her forehead, soft, sweet. "But I mean every word. You are mine now, Priscilla, completely, and I protect what is mine." They fell asleep, wrapped around each other. And for the first time since her parents died, Kang Min Kang slept without nightmares. The helicopter blades cut through clear blue sky, and Priscilla pressed her face against the window like a child seeing magic. "Is that it?" she shouted over the noise. Kang Min nodded, a rare smile softening his usually hard features. "That is it. My island." Below them, a small piece of paradise floated in impossibly blue water, white sand beaches, palm trees swaying in the breeze, a single house that looked like it grew naturally from the landscape. The helicopter landed on a pad near the beach. Kang Min helped Priscilla out, his hand warm and steady in hers. The moment her feet touched the sand, she felt something inside her relax. No guards, no maids, no Rocco with his disapproving stares, just her and Kang Min and this perfect private world. "How long can we stay?" she asked. 2 weeks, maybe 3 if I can push back some meetings. He pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her waist from behind. His chin rested on her shoulder. "No phones, no business, just us." Priscilla leaned back against his chest. "I think this might be heaven." Close to it. The house was beautiful but simple. Open walls that let in the ocean breeze, a kitchen with everything they needed, a bedroom with a massive bed that faced the water, and everywhere, windows that blurred the line between inside and outside. "I come here when I need to remember I am human," Kang Min said, setting down their bags. When the business gets too dark, this place has no blood on it. Priscilla explored while Kang Min unpacked. She found an outdoor shower surrounded by tropical plants, a hammock strung between two palm trees, a path that led down to the beach where waves kissed the sand with gentle persistence. Priscilla, Kang Min's voice called from inside. Come see something. She found him in the kitchen, pulling ingredients from the refrigerator. Fresh fish, vegetables, rice. You cook? She asked, surprised. My mother taught me before she died. I do not do it often anymore, but here I remember how. He looked almost shy. Will you help me? They cooked together as the sun began setting, painting the sky in oranges and pinks. Kang Min showed her how to season the fish the way his Korean mother had taught him. Priscilla taught him to make jollof rice the way her Ghanaian grandmother had shown her. The mixing of their cultures felt like a metaphor for everything they were becoming. They ate on the beach, their feet in the warm sand, sharing food and stories. Kang Min told her about his childhood before everything went dark. Priscilla told him about growing up in Ghana, about her siblings, about the grandmother who raised her with firm love. Say something in Twi, Kang Min asked, his fingers playing with hers. Me do wo. Priscilla said softly. What does it mean? I love you. His hand tightened on hers. Say it again. Me do wo. Me do wo. He repeated, his accent making the words sound different but beautiful. Now you say something in Korean. Sarange, he taught her. It means I love you. Sarange, Priscilla whispered. Kang Min pulled her into his lap, his arms wrapping around her. Sarange, Priscilla, me do wo. I love you in every language that exists. They made love right there on the beach, with stars beginning to appear above them, and waves providing a soundtrack. Sand stuck to their skin, salt from the ocean mixed with salt from their sweat, and it was messy and perfect and real. The days that followed blurred into a dream. They swam in the ocean every morning, sometimes with clothes, sometimes without. Kang Min taught her to float on her back, his hand supporting her while she stared up at endless sky. They explored the small island, finding hidden coves and tide pools full of tiny fish. Kang Min picked hibiscus flowers and tucked them behind Priscilla's ear. They cooked together every evening, creating fusion dishes that probably horrified both their cultures, but tasted like happiness. And they made love everywhere. In the outdoor shower, with warm water cascading over them, against the kitchen counter while waiting for rice to cook, in the hammock until it almost broke, against the bedroom windows with the sunset painting their skin gold. But it was not just the physical connection. They talked about everything. Kang Min told her about building his empire from nothing, about the choices that haunted him, about the things he had done that he could never take back. Priscilla told him about the guilt of leaving her family, about missing her mother, about feeling torn between two worlds. You are not torn anymore, Kang Min said one night, his fingers tracing patterns on her bare back. You are whole, you are here, and you are mine. On the 10th day, Priscilla woke feeling strange. Her stomach churned. She barely made it to the bathroom before losing her dinner from the night before. Kang Min was there immediately, holding back her hair, rubbing her back with gentle hands. Are you sick? His voice was tight with worry. Should I call for the helicopter? Get you to a hospital? No, I think I just ate something wrong. But even as she said it, Priscilla's mind was racing. She tried to remember the last time she had her monthly cycle. It had been before the wedding, 6 weeks ago. Maybe 7. Oh, Kang Min, she whispered. I think I might be pregnant. His hand froze on her back. For a long moment, he did not move, did not speak, did not even seem to breathe. Then he was pulling her up, turning her to face him. His eyes were wide, almost wild. Pregnant? Are you sure? Not completely. But all the signs are there, the sickness. My body feels different, and I am late. How late? Very late. Kangmin's hands cupped her face, and Priscilla was shocked to see tears gathering in his eyes. She had never seen him cry, never even seen him close to it. A baby, he whispered. We made a baby. Are you happy, or scared, or angry? I cannot tell what you are feeling. Happy. A tear slid down his cheek. So happy I do not have words, terrified out of my mind, but mostly happy. He kissed her then, gentle and sweet, his hands shaking against her skin. When he pulled back, he was smiling, actually smiling, bright and real and beautiful. I am going to be a father. Yes, you are going to be a mother. Yes, we are going to have a family. He said it like he was testing the words, like he could not quite believe them. Priscilla touched his face, wiping away his tears. Are you crying? No. He was definitely crying. Maybe. I do not know. I have never been this happy before. It is confusing. They spent the rest of the morning just holding each other. Kangmin kept touching Priscilla's stomach, even though there was nothing to feel yet. He spoke to the tiny life inside her in Korean, making promises Priscilla could not understand, but that sounded beautiful. That afternoon they walked on the beach hand in hand. I am leaving the life, Kangmin said suddenly. The Mafia, the violence, all of it. Priscilla stopped walking. What? I cannot be that person anymore, not now, not with a child coming. He turned to face her, his expression more serious than she had ever seen it. I have enough money to last 10 lifetimes. I have legitimate businesses that can support us. I do not need the criminal empire anymore. But what about your enemies, your obligations? I will make deals, pay people off, do whatever it takes to get out cleanly. His hand settled on her stomach. This baby will not grow up the way I did, will not see the things I saw, will not lose parents to violence. I swear it. Kangmin, you cannot just walk away from that world. They will come after you. Let them try. His voice turned hard, dangerous. I will burn down anyone who threatens my family. I will destroy them so completely their names will be forgotten. I will make examples so brutal that no one will dare try again. That is not walking away from violence. No, he admitted, it is not. But it is protecting what matters. And you matter, Priscilla. You and this baby matter more than anything else in the world. He knelt in the sand, right there on the beach, and pressed his forehead against her stomach. I promise, he said in Korean, then in English. I promise to keep you safe, to give you the life you deserve, to be the father my child needs. I promise to be better than I was, to be more than the monster they made me. I promise everything. Priscilla's hands tangled in his hair, tears streaming down her face. I believe you. That night, they made love with new tenderness. Kangmin treated her like she was made of glass, his touches impossibly gentle. He kissed her stomach between every caress, whispering promises and love in 2 languages. Afterward, lying in the dark with the sound of waves outside, Kangmin pulled Priscilla close against his chest. I never thought I would have this, he said quietly. A wife I love, a child on the way, peace. I thought I was too broken, too far gone. You are not broken. You are surviving. No. He kissed the top of her head. I was surviving before. Now I am living. You taught me the difference. Priscilla closed her eyes, one hand on her stomach where their child was growing. I am scared. Of what? That this is too perfect, that something will come and destroy it, that I will wake up and find out this was all a dream. Kangmin's arms tightened around her. This is real. I am real. We are real. and I will fight heaven and hell to keep it that way. As sleep pulled her under, Priscilla thought about how much had changed in just a few weeks. She had arrived at that mansion as a frightened girl selling herself to save her mother. Now she was a woman in love, carrying new life, dreaming of a future that seemed impossible but felt so close she could almost touch it. Outside, the ocean sang its eternal song, and inside their perfect bubble, two broken people held each other and dared to believe in happy endings. The gunshot shattered the afternoon silence. Priscilla froze in the middle of Rodeo Drive, shopping bags slipping from her hands. Around her, people screamed and scattered like frightened birds, but she could not move, could not think. Could only stare at the black van that had screeched to a stop in front of her. Men poured out, 3 of them, big, armed, moving with military precision. "Mrs. Kang," one said in a thick Russian accent, "come quietly or everyone here dies." Priscilla's hand instinctively moved to her stomach, 12 weeks pregnant, barely showing, but protecting something more precious than her own life. "Who are you?" Her voice shook. "Constantine sends his regards." The man grabbed her arm, his grip brutal. "Your husband made powerful enemies. Now he pays." They dragged her toward the van. Priscilla fought, screaming, kicking, but they were too strong. Someone pressed a cloth over her mouth. Chemical smell, sweet and sickening. The world went black. She woke to darkness and the smell of rust and mould. Her head pounded. Her wrists were tied behind her back. Panic clawed up her throat. "Kang Min," she whispered. "Please find me. Somewhere far away." In his office in Beverly Hills, Kang Min's phone rang. Rocco's voice came through, tight with fear. "Sir, we have a problem." Kang Min's blood turned to ice at those words. "What problem?" "Mrs. Kang was taken. Rodeo Drive, 30 minutes ago. Security footage shows Russian plates on the van. It is Constantine." The phone shattered in Kang Min's hand. Glass and plastic rained onto his desk. Blood dripped from his palm, but he did not feel it. Did not feel anything except rage so pure it burned away every other emotion. "Get Felix. Get everyone. Tell them to gear up." His voice was dead calm. The calm before a hurricane. "We are going to Seattle, and we are going to paint that city red." Within 2 hours, Kang Min's private jet was in the air. 20 of his best men sat in tense silence. They had seen their boss angry before, but never like this. Never with eyes so empty and hands so steady while cleaning weapons that could tear through walls. "Sir," Felix said carefully. He was Kang Min's cousin, the only family Kang Min had left. "We should think about this. Plan carefully. Constantine expects you to come in hot." "Good!" Kang Min loaded another magazine. "Let him expect it. Let him prepare. It will not matter. I am going to kill every person in that building, every single one. And then I am going to make Constantine beg before I end him." "What about Priscilla?" "If you go in too aggressive, he might hurt her." Kang Min's hand froze. For just a moment, fear cracked through his rage. He already hurt her by taking her, by scaring her, by touching what is mine. His jaw clenched. "But you are right. I need her alive. So I will be smart, fast, brutal, but smart." In the warehouse in Seattle, Priscilla sat tied to a chair in a cold room. Her captors had left her alone for hours. The silence was somehow worse than violence would have been. The door finally opened. A man walked in, tall, blonde, cold blue eyes. He wore an expensive suit that seemed wrong in this dirty place. "Mrs. Kang," he said with a slight bow. "I am Constantine. We have not met, but I know your husband very well." "He is going to kill you," Priscilla said. Her voice was steadier than she felt. "Perhaps. Or perhaps I kill him when he comes for you. Either way, this ends tonight." Constantine pulled up a chair and sat across from her. Do you know what your husband did to my brother? No. He put him in the ground. Over a territorial dispute. Over money and pride and power. So now I take what he loves. Eye for eye. Life for life. I have nothing to do with your war. You have everything to do with it. You are his weakness, his soft spot. Constantine smiled, but his eyes stayed cold. Before you, he had no weakness. He was untouchable. But love makes men stupid, makes them vulnerable. And now he will come here, to this place I have prepared, and he will die trying to save you. Priscilla's hands formed fists behind her back. You do not know Kang Min. You do not know what he is capable of. I know exactly what he is capable of. That is why I have 50 men in this building, traps, cameras, every advantage. Constantine stood. Enjoy your last hours, Mrs. Kang. When your husband's body arrives, I will let you see it before I kill you too. He left her alone again. Priscilla closed her eyes and thought about Kang Min, about their island, about the baby growing inside her, about the promises he had made. Come find me, she whispered. I know you will. I trust you. Night fell over Seattle. In the warehouse, guards played cards and joked about the woman in the back room. They did not see the shadows moving on the roof, did not hear the whisper of boots on concrete. Kang Min and his men approached like ghosts. He had studied the building plans, marked every entrance and exit, identified weak points, and now he moved with deadly precision. The first guard died without making a sound, knife through the throat. Kang Min caught the body and lowered it silently. The second and third guards followed, quick, efficient, brutal. Felix and the others spread through the building like poison, eliminating threats one by one. No mercy, no hesitation. This was what Kang Min had built his empire on, violence applied with surgical precision. But then someone found a body. Alarms screamed, lights blazed, and suddenly the building erupted into chaos. Gunfire exploded through hallways. Kang Min moved through it like a demon, his weapons extensions of his will. Anyone who got in his way fell. He did not think, did not feel, just moved toward where he knew they would keep her. Second floor, east wing. Felix shouted over the noise. That is where the cameras show her. Kang Min was already moving, upstairs, through doors, leaving bodies in his wake. His men followed, providing cover, taking down enemies, securing his path. Constantine waited in the hallway outside Priscilla's room. He held a gun pointed at the door. I knew you would come, he said when Kang Min appeared. Blood covered Kang Min's suit. His eyes burned with hellfire. But you are too late. He fired through the door. Once, twice. Kang Min's scream tore from his throat, raw and animal. He launched himself at Constantine with such violence they crashed through the wall. They fought like beasts, trading blows that should have killed. But Kang Min fought with something beyond skill. He fought with love, with terror, with desperate need. His hands found Constantine's throat, squeezed, bones cracked, the Russian's eyes bulged, and Kang Min did not stop until those eyes went empty and still. Then he was up, tearing through the broken door into Priscilla's room. She sat tied to the chair, unhurt. The bullets had missed, embedding in the wall behind her. Priscilla, Kang Min breathed. Kang Min! Tears streamed down her face. You came. He was across the room in 2 steps, cutting her bonds with shaking hands. The moment she was free, he pulled her against him so tightly she could barely breathe. I thought he killed you, Kang Min said into her hair. His whole body trembled. I thought I lost you. I thought I was too late. You were just in time. Priscilla's hands clutched his bloody jacket. You always will be. They stayed like that while his men secured the building, while sirens wailed in the distance, while the world spun around them. Nothing mattered except the feeling of each other's heartbeat. On the flight home, Kang Min would not let Priscilla go. He held her in his lap, one hand constantly on her stomach, checking and rechecking that she was real, that she was safe, that their baby still lived. "I am okay," she kept saying. "We are okay. I should have protected you better. Should have seen this coming. Should have ended Constantine months ago. You did not know. I should have known." His voice broke. "This is my fault. My world. My enemies. You almost died because of me." Priscilla cupped his face, forcing him to look at her. "I am alive because of you. You saved me. You saved us." Back at the mansion, Kang Min carried her straight to his bedroom. Their bedroom now. He set her down gently and just stared at her like he was memorizing every detail. "I need to touch you," he said roughly. "Need to prove you are real. That you are here. Then touch me." His hands shook as he undressed her carefully, checking for injuries. Every bruise on her wrists from the ropes made him flinch. Every mark made his jaw clench with renewed rage. "I am going to kill them all," he promised. "Every person connected to this, every ally Constantine ever had. They will all pay for touching you." "Later," Priscilla said. She reached for him, pulling him down to her. "Right now, I just need you." Their lovemaking was desperate, frantic, both of them trying to erase the terror of almost losing each other. Kang Min was rough, despite trying to be gentle. His control shattered. Priscilla met him with equal intensity, needing to feel alive, needing to remember this was real. They said things in the heat of passion, promises, confessions, words that only made sense between people who had looked death in the face and survived. "Never again," Kang Min gasped against her neck. "Never again will I let anyone hurt you. I will burn this world down first." "I know," Priscilla breathed. "I know." Later, tangled in sheets, Kang Min's hand rested on her stomach. "Is the baby okay? Should we call a doctor?" "The baby is fine. I can feel it." She covered his hand with hers. "We are both fine because you came for us. I will always come for you." He kissed her forehead, soft, sweet. "You and this baby are my entire world. Everything else can burn." As dawn painted the windows pink, they lay awake together, too afraid to sleep, too grateful to be alive. And in the quiet, Priscilla whispered, "No more. Please, Kang Min. No more of this life. Let us leave. Go somewhere safe. Start over." Kang Min pulled her closer, his arms protective bands around her. "I already made the call. Felix is taking over everything. We are out. Completely out. This was the last time, Priscilla. I swear it. No one will ever threaten my family again." The Montana sky stretched forever, blue and endless and clean. Priscilla stood on the porch of their new home, one hand on her swollen belly, watching Kang Min repair a fence in the distance. He wore jeans and a simple shirt, looking nothing like the dangerous Mafia boss he used to be. 3 months. 3 months since Seattle. 3 months since Kang Min had walked away from his empire and never looked back. The ranch house was beautiful in its simplicity. No gold chandeliers, no marble floors, just wood and stone and windows that showed mountains in every direction, space to breathe, space to heal, space to build something new. "Mama, he is coming," Priscilla called to the house. Her mother emerged looking healthier than she had in years. The expensive operation Kang Min paid for had worked. Now she was here, visiting from Ghana with Priscilla's father and younger siblings, seeing for themselves that Priscilla was truly happy. Kang Min reached the porch, pulling off work gloves and kissing Priscilla softly. "How are my girls?" "We are perfect." Priscilla's belly had grown round in the past months. 6 months pregnant now. The baby kicked constantly, like she was already dancing. "Is the library ready?" Priscilla's mother asked in Tui. She still did not speak much English, but Kang Min was learning her language, practicing with patient determination. Kang Min answered in careful Tui. "Almost finished. Tomorrow, we put in the last shelves." He was building Priscilla a library, a whole room just for books, with big windows and comfortable chairs and shelves he was constructing with his own hands. Hands that used to hold guns now held hammers. Hands that used to deal death now created life. That evening, after Priscilla's family had gone to bed in the guest house, she found Kang Min in the unfinished library. He was sanding a shelf, his movements careful and precise. "You do not have to build all of this yourself," Priscilla said from the doorway. "We can hire people." "I want to." He looked up at her, sawdust in his hair. "I want our daughter to know her father made this with his hands. I want her to see that I am more than what I was." Priscilla walked to him, wrapping her arms around his waist from behind. "She will know you are everything." Kang Min turned in her arms and pulled her close as her belly would allow. "Dance with me. There is no music. There is always music." He pulled out his phone and scrolled until he found what he wanted. African drums and strings filled the room, music from Ghana, music from Priscilla's childhood. Kang Min had been learning not just her language but her culture, her history, everything that made her who she was. He moved with her awkwardly at first. African dance was nothing like the formal waltzes he knew, but he tried, his hips moving to the rhythm, his feet finding the beat. Priscilla laughed, the sound pure joy. "You are terrible at this." "I know." He grinned. "But I am trying." They danced until Priscilla was breathless, her belly making complicated moves impossible. Then Kang Min lifted her, carrying her toward their bedroom. "The baby," Priscilla protested. "The baby is fine." He laid her gently on the bed. "The doctor said we can continue as normal until the very end, and I intend to take advantage of that." Their intimacy had changed over the months, less desperate now, more tender, but no less passionate. Kang Min treated her like precious cargo and fire at the same time. He undressed her slowly, his hands worshipful on her changing body. "You are so beautiful like this," he whispered. "Carrying our child, growing our future. Perfect. I feel huge. You feel like everything." He kissed her belly, then lower, making her gasp and arch beneath him. They moved together with practiced ease, knowing each other's bodies, understanding what brought pleasure, building slowly toward release. Afterward, Kang Min ran a bath. The huge tub was one luxury they had kept from their old life. He helped Priscilla in, then climbed in behind her, cradling her against his chest. "Are you happy?" he asked, his hands rubbing her shoulders. "So happy. I sometimes wake up scared it is a dream. It is real. I am real. This life is real." He kissed her temple. "And it is forever." 2 weeks later, Priscilla's family returned to Ghana with promises to come back when the baby arrived. The library was finished. Kang Min had painted the walls a soft yellow, filled the shelves with books he thought she would love. When he showed it to her, Priscilla cried, actual tears streaming down her face. "What is wrong?" Kang Min panicked, touching her face. "Do you not like it?" "I love it." She laughed through tears. "I love it so much. I love you so much. These are happy tears." He held her while she cried, his own eyes suspiciously bright. The months passed in a blur of happiness. They explored Montana on horseback. Kang Min taught Priscilla to fish in the stream behind their property. She taught him to cook more Ghanaian dishes. At night, they would lie in bed, Kang Min's hand on her belly, feeling their daughter move. "What should we name her?" Priscilla asked one evening. Something that means hope, or new beginning, or love. Kangmin's eyes were soft. Something that reminds us how we started and where we ended up. Grace, Priscilla said suddenly. It means undeserved favour. Getting something beautiful we did not earn. That is us. This is grace. Grace! Kangmin tested the name, smiled. Perfect. When Priscilla went into labour on a cold December morning, Kangmin nearly fell apart. The hospital is 20 minutes away, he said, grabbing keys, grabbing bags, grabbing everything and nothing. We need to go now. Why are you so calm? Should you be this calm? Breathe, Priscilla said, timing her contractions. We have time. They did not have as much time as they thought. Grace came fast, as if she was eager to meet the world. 12 hours of labour that felt like both minutes and years. When the doctor finally placed the tiny, screaming bundle in Kangmin's arms, he froze, just stared down at the red, wrinkled face with wonder. She is so small, he whispered. She is perfect, Priscilla said from the bed, exhausted but glowing. Kangmin sat in the chair beside her, still holding Grace like she might break. Tears streamed down his face without shame. Thank you, he said to Priscilla. His voice cracked. Thank you for not giving up on me, for seeing past the monster, for giving me this. He looked down at Grace. For giving me a family, a real family, a reason to be better. You gave me the same thing, Priscilla said softly. You saved my mother, saved me, gave me love when I expected coldness. You are not a monster, Kangmin. You never were. They took Grace home 2 days later. The ranch house felt different now, filled with new sounds, baby cries, lullabies, laughter. Kangmin was a devoted father from the first moment. He changed diapers, did midnight feedings, walked Grace around the house when she cried, speaking to her in Korean and English and Twi all mixed together. She will be so confused, Priscilla laughed one night, watching him pace with Grace. She will be cultured, Kangmin corrected. She will know where she comes from, all the parts that made her. 3 months after Grace was born, on a quiet evening with the baby finally asleep, Kangmin and Priscilla found themselves alone in their bedroom, real alone for the first time in what felt like forever. I miss you, Kangmin said, pulling Priscilla close. I love being a father, but I miss having you to myself sometimes. I am right here, I know, but I miss this. He kissed her, deep, slow, full of promise. I miss tasting you, touching you, making you forget your own name. Heat flooded through Priscilla. Grace could wake up any minute. Then we better be quick. His hands found the tie of her robe. Or maybe not quick. Maybe I want to take my time. Remind you exactly who you belong to. They came together with the passion that had never faded, just evolved, grown deeper, more meaningful. Every touch was history. Every kiss was promise. Every moment was proof that they had survived everything and come out stronger. Later, lying tangled in sheets, with the baby monitor softly playing Grace's sleeping sounds, Kangmin propped himself up on one elbow and looked down at Priscilla. Do you remember what you thought when we first met? He asked. I thought you were terrifying. What else? I thought you were the most beautiful man I had ever seen, and I thought the rumours were true, that you did not like women, that I would be safe. Kangmin laughed softly. You believed I was gay, but you were always meant to be mine. From the moment I saw your picture, from the moment you walked into my office, you were mine, forever. He kissed her then, long, deep, a kiss that tasted like promises kept and futures bright. Forever, Priscilla whispered against his lips. I can live with that. As dawn painted their bedroom windows gold, they held each other close, a reformed monster and the woman who taught him to be human, a forced marriage that became real love, a story that should have ended in tragedy, but somehow found its way to hope. And in the crib beside their bed, Grace slept peacefully, proof that even in the darkest places, light can grow. If you loved Kangmin and Priscilla's journey from darkness to light, subscribe for more passionate love stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Hit that like button and let us know which moment made your heart race the most.